Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever or wherever you're watching. How are you all doing today? Tony Man says, different intro, pretty dope. Thank you. Bo Minky Latte says, hey. Let me adjust this a little bit. Yeah, my my apologies. Everything looks a mess today, including myself. I didn't feel like getting myself that much together, so you're seeing the dark circles around my eyes and my lack of makeup and fashion freakiness. After the weekend we're having in the US, I just don't feel up to it today. But I will try tomorrow. I'll try tomorrow to give more of a look. Tony says, hot as a mofo. You're talking about the temperature, right? I think it should storm soon. I'm trying to hope that it's going to storm this afternoon because we've had heat advisories, I think, every day since Thursday. I think we had one Thursday, Friday. I'm not sure we had one yesterday, but it was 91 degrees at about 11 o'clock this morning. So I'm sure there's probably another heat advisory. So let me get started. Let me readjust some things so I can. I'm finally starting to see why people have like the double and triple monitor system going on. It's really helpful to have that. I saw one that you can use that it goes with your lap. You can attach it onto the side of your laptop. But yeah, I think eventually I'll get a setup where I'm doing this from a desktop instead of a laptop. Tommy says, sure, I am, LOL, but yes, I was talking about the weather. Thank you. Okay, that works. Yeah, I'll do it this way. Not all the couples were featured this week, but I'm putting this up in case anyone's just now stepping into the room so they know what I'm talking about. We're going to get into 90 Day Fiance Love in Paradise. That is the wrong thing. We're not talking about episodes 1 and 2. We're talking about episode 3. Ignore that. We're talking about episode 3, not episode 1 and 2. We are going to first talk about Danielle and Yohan. because they are the couple I probably have the least amount of things to talk about with them, because not much happened this episode. Number one, I think she's lying on his peen, because every time we see her, she has to talk about how much peen he has, and it's giving putting 20 on 10. And I just don't believe her for some reason. Also, I think that if you had a partner who is very good in bed, you don't brag about it, because you don't want other people to try him out. And there's some people, sneaky, creepy people, that will try. That's not to say that your partner would fall to that, because obviously it's up to your partner to remain faithful to you. But don't put them in that position where they have to beat people off with a bat because you're saying all this stuff about their sexual prowess. I don't know why I don't believe her, but I just don't believe her. It's almost like she's making up so that she has something to say that she's into him for, because he has no money. He has I can't speak on his future because we don't know what he has planned. We don't know whether he's intending to go to school, so I'm not going to discount a person like that. But from what the show is showing us, he's just a dance instructor at a resort, and that's pretty much all he's trying to be. Like, he has not once said, oh, I always wanted to study this, or I wanted to become that. Maybe this is what he wants to do. Maybe he's going to be a Sherlon in 20 years, where he's just happy to be, the resort guy. And that's not necessarily husband and father material. It just isn't, unless you also are like a resort employee and maybe both enjoy the same type of thing. Like, I could see that working. But my point is, I feel like she keeps saying that so that there's one redeeming quality, or some quality that she can tell people, this is why I'm with this guy, because he's so good at X, Y, and Z. That's what I'm saying. They go visit a doctor. They actually go to a fertility specialist, which I think, let me pause for some comments. Foamic Elijah says, I think he would. Yeah, I don't think that he would be faithful to her at all. Tony Man says, I'm waiting for the tell-all from a few exes to throw his peen under the bus. Oh, yeah, that could happen. That could happen. Yeah, where are the exes? They usually come out on Instagram. That's usually when they come out. Hey, Chris. How's your day going so far? I was saying about the fertility clinic. I feel like it is a conflict of interest, because a fertility doctor, wouldn't it be to their advantage to always tell you that you need in vitro that costs $30,000, because that's how they make money? I just feel like they're never going to say, oh, you're fine, you don't need me, I'm not going to charge you. No, that's a conflict of interest. Words to wise, you can go to your OBGYN for your reproductive health needs. And if you do really have an issue, your OBGYN will refer you to a fertility specialist. Don't go directly to a fertility specialist, because they're always going to tell you need them. Like, why would they not tell you need them? It's weird. But I just wanted to say that. So they have a little talk on the beach about how they'll pay for, like, this, mind you, last episode, she had given him a deposit to put on his tuxedo for their wedding, which, I mean, I guess I'm not gonna say anymore about why she wants to marry this dude, but or what? Well, we know why he wants to marry her, but I'm gonna get into that in a second. So anyway, she gave him a deposit to put on his tuxedo, and I guess the balance was $63, and he had a hard time coming up with it, which we learned last week was because of the exchange rate. It's 63 American dollars, but she didn't tell us. Well, actually, let me backtrack, because we didn't find out whether it was 63 American dollars or whether it was 63 Dominican Republic. I think they use the peso there, but don't quote me on it, I could be mistaken. But there is an exchange rate between the American dollar and the Dominican currency, and it's huge. So if it's 63 American dollars, he would have a hard time coming up with that. But if it's 63 Dominican dollars, then I'm looking at him like, what the hell are you doing with your whole paycheck? Like, what are you doing? What I was going to say about him and a lot of people, it's giving, they don't pay attention to the news. If you're only doing this to get a green card, I don't know why. You must not be paying attention to the news in America, because this is not the best place for you to immigrate to right now at all. I mean, if the gas prices and the school shootings don't scare you away, I don't know what the hell will. People still think this is like the land of what? We have no universal health care. You have babies getting shot up in their schools and the police won't go in to help them. Roe v. Wade is overturned. Like, why do you want to come here? We're going backwards, not forwards. You need to go to countries that are going forwards. Tony Man says he can make $63 by doing a Stella got her groove back. That's what he's trying to do with her. She's the Stella. She doesn't realize that she's the Stella. But if you know how that situation ended, the author of How Stella Got Her Groove Back, she had married this dude from Jamaica, and she went on Oprah and you know, interviewed her about her book success and turning into a movie deal. The guy came out of the closet a couple of years later. Apparently he was gay the whole time. He just wanted to get his green card too. Wild story. There might be more to it than that. I'm obviously simplifying it for time, but yeah. Okay, I think that's all I had on them. Let me close this up and get to our next couple. There we go. Bear with me. I'm not super fast at this. There we go. They were on the season last year. Let's see here. Mafalmi says, wow, look especially beautiful today. Thank you. I appreciate that, even though I look like hell. I don't have any makeup on. I have dark circles around my eyes. I'm just trying to exist today, but I appreciate you still telling me I look beautiful in my natural state without without beating my face. Amber says he ran that Long Con Pro Edition. Yes, he did. Now this right here, they were on last season, and I didn't take too much notice of them because not a whole lot happened. Besides, I think there was a little bit of jealousy. I think she was jealous because some girl said hi to him in a bar or something, and that was about the size of it. But this is Amber, who is claiming 31, and Daniel, who's 25. Daniel is originally Venezuelan, but he lived in Costa Rica at the time that Amber met him and married him and brought him back to US. So it's kind of another Cara Guillermo situation. They now live in Seminole, Florida, and Daniel says she is the most beautiful woman he's ever seen in the world. You don't have nothing nice to say. She has bought this little house, and he was cutting the lawn in flip-flops, and I never seen anybody do that before. Especially this hard-ass Florida grass. Grass in Florida is super hard compared to up north. It's a much softer grass up there. My family says, no, don't need makeup at all, seriously. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. She was complaining, and the way that she was complaining, it made you think like she was like this professional career woman. They actually don't say Tony Man. It just said Seminole, Florida. So I assumed maybe that there was actually a town named that. I know there's a Seminole County, but I don't know where the town of Seminole is. What was I saying? How she was speaking as though she was this professional person making all this money. And she was, number one, complaining about how he can't work, which is so irritating because they know when they sign the paperwork for the K-1 visa that their partner is not going to be able to work immediately, that there's a waiting period for their visa, their work visa, to be processed. So knowing this, you signed that paperwork, you read that paperwork. Well, I hope you read that paperwork. There's no reason for you to complain about him not working because you knew that was going to be a thing. But she was talking as if she's doing all this, well, not as though she's doing more. She was talking as though she's a level above him. She was talking down to him. And we learned that he worked construction and that one of his specialties doing construction was renovations and doing bathrooms and kitchens, which is a great thing to have under your belt because the people I know that do that type of work, they make bank and they always have a job because someone always needs their kitchen or their bathroom repaired. Leaks happen, fires happen. People are still trying to flip houses except for Bilal because his real estate investment doesn't extend to fixing the faucets in the homes that his family owns. But that aside, he would make more money than her because her big job that makes her so above him is a restaurant server. The audacity of her to talk down to him as if he isn't as viable an earner as she is, when clearly he would make as a construction worker in America who specializes in renovations trumps anything that she could make serving fucking burgers and coffee. Sorry. Don't mean I was trying not to curse today. She's living paycheck to paycheck like most people. Exactly. So there was no reason. I just didn't like her intonation and how she talked down to him as if he didn't have any skills. And it was giving the racism. That's what it's giving. It's giving the racism the same way that Kara's family was talking down to Guillermo, saying, well, I don't know what kind of job he could have. Your relative blows up balloons for a living. It's not like she's a freaking psychology professor. Like they really love to look down their noses at people. And it's irritating my life when the people that they are calling themselves putting up on a pedestal are like the workingest of working class people. Like you're not, it's irritating. Tony says, if he does renovations, there will be a cross show with Bilal. No, there won't, because Bilal doesn't renovate anything. That's my biggest issue with him. If you are a so-called real estate investor, but you're not investing in a property that your family already owns, where the hell are you investing your money? Because it's not making sense to me. That domicile, even if you and your sisters don't want to live there anymore, you could fix it up and rent it out to somebody. You could fix it up and turn it into a Section 8 housing to help somebody that needs housing. Instead, you're letting a house sit there in disrepair and with no faucets that you could be making money off of. Or you could sell it if you don't freaking want it anymore to somebody who will use it. It's just, don't call yourself an investor. You're not investing in anything. And neither is your family. You got all these adult siblings and none of them fixed up that house. Like, what are you keeping it there for memory's sake? It's you keeping it there just to troll people with when you want to date them. It's weird. Chris says, I think some of them accept the fiance to take under the table work, especially women bringing men over. Never mind, the camera's all over. Yeah, never mind, the camera's all over. Let me get the intonation right. Exactly. And they get. I don't know. They're not making sense, but a lot of them are in an extended state of adolescence anyways. I've noticed in this. A lot of them, especially the European American women, are very teenage-like. And what they expect, what they think life has to offer them, it's very much what a girl who's 15 years old would expect, not women that are approaching 30 or are 30 years old. It's really weird. Damn, you beat me to it, LS. Tony Man says that Bilal rant should be saved for tomorrow. I know. I'll definitely still be on one tomorrow. He always makes, I try not to curse, but the minute I start talking about Bilal, the curses slip out. Do I want to say something else? Oh, her sister lives with her. And did you guys notice when her sister pulled the plates out of the cabinet to feed the cats? And I was like, no, we don't do that. We don't. I have a cat. Cats have their own dishes. We don't feed the cats on our saucers and then wash them and put them back in the cabinet for humans to eat off of. I'm sure, the dishwashing detergent probably clears all the cat saliva and cat food off the plates, but I just don't like the idea of it. I won't do it. I won't eat after a cat or a dog. They have their own dishes. But her sister pulled the dishes right out of the cabinets like the regular people dishes to feed the cats. And I mean, she's going to wash them and put them back up there with the people dishes. Also, it's crowded in their house because they only have one bathroom. And why was her sister in the bathroom, doing her makeup or hair, whatever, while Daniel was in the shower? Like, that's inappropriate. But that's how the whole construction thing came up, because he was like, why don't you let me add a bathroom to the house? And she was like, oh, we can't do a $10,000 renovation. It's not going to be a $10,000 renovation. What she doesn't understand is that he is a construction worker, which means that you pay for the materials. And if you know anyone that does construction, like, and my family, we have a lot of people that do all different types of renovations, because one of my grandfathers had a construction company, and he built whole houses. So a lot of, like, my father and my uncles know how to do like masonry, electrical, carpentry, a little bit of plumbing, but not too much plumbing, but mostly carpentry, masonry, any type of cosmetic stuff, adding recessed ceiling lights, that type of stuff they know how to do. So a lot of times with people like that, they just buy the materials and then they do their own renovations. Unlike Bilal, who can't even buy a faucet and install a faucet. I'm never going to let that go. Dude, there's YouTube videos. My sister just installed a new faucet, a real pretty one. You know, the type that looks like the flat waterfall faucets. And it was only, she said she spent $75 on Amazon for that faucet, and she installed it herself. And the real estate investor, let me stop. I'm sorry for getting off topic. Chris says get some cat dishes. Yes, they have the cutest cat dishes too. You can get a whole little set where it's like a little placemat, and it's got a water dish and a cat dish. Although my cat doesn't, and my sister's cat also, they're so spoiled, they don't like water dishes anymore. Once you get them a cat fountain, you can't go back to give them a water dish. If the fountain breaks, you have to get them another cat fountain, because they're too good to drink water that's not moving. What was I going to say about, oh yeah, let me bring up another picture, because this is a funny one. Kara decides she's going to take, not Kara, oh my God, see, Freudian slip. They're like the same person. Amber decides she's going to take, see, I almost said Guillermo, Daniel, to the country bar. And he's not super happy about this, because like country line dancing is not something he's familiar with. He said that he would rather do like bachata or salsa dancing, where he can be like skin to skin, close to her dancing, which is a lot of fun. If you ever went salsa dancing, it's a lot of fun. It's harder to do than like merengue or bachata dancing. In my opinion, I think salsa is a little bit harder, but it's fun. At the same time, I am told that country line dancing can be fun too. I don't know any country line dancers to do them, but as a Black person, we have our own line dancing that's fun to do. So I imagine if it's fun to do our line dancing, it's fun to do the type of country dancing too. But what I was going to say is, this is the night that he learned about white girl wasted. He thought that it was only a thing that she does on vacation, but no, this is, you can see how she looks. And she's there with her best friend, who we meet. His name is Ashton. And unfortunately, he is getting divorced from his husband. Now, here's the thing. Amber has invited Ashton to move in with them because he can help pay the rent, because he has a job and also he needs a place to stay. Makes sense, to lighten the load. But she has not told Daniel about it yet. And to Ashton's credit, Ashton tells her, listen, you need to be honest with your husband, because that's part of the reason why my marriage broke up with my husband, is lack of communication. And he says to her, listen to me, you need to communicate with him, because I don't want to see you go through the same negative thing. But we don't know how much of this she's taken in, because as you can see, she's clearly wasted. Another thing she has in common with Kara, because Guillermo said that he didn't like how much Kara drinks. Tony Man says, my uncle, dad, and grandfather installed carpets to several houses. They bought the material and we laid the carpet. Exactly. And I think that's what Daniel is trying to tell her, that he can build an additional bathroom, because that's what he did for a job. She would just have to, A, get a permit, because a lot of times you have to get a building permit to make sure that you're able to do that. And B, buy the materials. But the one thing they may have to get some assistance on is the plumbing. So I don't think that Daniel, because he didn't mention, he said he did construction. Construction and plumbing are two different things. He could probably do all the cosmetic stuff as far as building the walls, doing the tile work, the tile and grout work. I mean, the carpentry, all that. He might be able to do the electrical work as well. But I think he would have to get a plumber to connect the tub and the sink to the ground plumbing. And well, in Florida homes, some of our plumbing is actually not in the ground, but in the attic. Like in the house that I live in, the plumbing goes through the attic into the bathroom, not through the ground. But yeah, somewhere in between, they can meet in the middle. So am I done talking about them? Yeah, I think that's all I had to talk about them. Let me see who I want to talk about next. Tony Man says, I'm sure her best friend can lay pipe. Bad joke. Well, her best friend, you'd have to ask his husband how well he laid pipe. That's one thing. Make friends with people who are in these vocations. Stop looking down your nose at service people, because one of the like, people think that having a lawyer friend is good. Having a plumber friend would probably be better than even having a lawyer friend. Okay, I know who I want to talk about next. Let me see here. Hold on just a second. I might need... Y'all let me know what you think so far. I need to resize a couple of these images because they're a little small. So let me do that right quick. There we go. And oh, it didn't save. I knew I didn't. There we go. Let's talk about Aryanna and Sherlon. Y'all have any predictions for these two? Tony Man says, I have a friend in Oklahoma that helped me fix a broken AC here in Florida, save me a lot of money. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so what did I put here for Aryanna and Sherlon? Oh, I started talking about her lashes first. Wait a minute. I took a picture of this because there was people asking what was going on, and I can explain what's going on. Let me bring up that picture. Okay, and we will zoom in. Somebody on Twitter asked what was going on with her lashes. This is what happens when you get individuals, but then when they start to fall out, and the individuals like this are like semi-permanent. I think they last anywhere from 3. Some places say 6 weeks, but I've never seen anyone really make it a full 6 weeks with these semi-permanent lash extensions. So what she has done here is she has individual lash extensions, but some of them have fallen out, and she hasn't gotten them refilled. So this is why this looks like this. That's why I don't advocate for those too much, unless you really, really are committed to going to get them redone very frequently. I wouldn't get them. And it doesn't take that long to apply regular lashes if you're gluing them. And some people use magnetic lashes, which I have not tried yet, but I hear positive things about the magnetic lashes that work a little bit better. But the main point is that aside from her lashes being troublesome, she needs to understand that Sherlon is not interested in being with her. Not in the slightest. She was a one-night stand during vacation, and that's it. She keeps trying to make a relationship where there isn't one. He's not into her like that, and he's just... And what we learned from this episode, he's really not into being a dad that much. I think he wants to be a play father, but not a real father, because as she's saying, if she's being honest with us, she said that she sent him some, what did she call it? Paternity paperwork that allows him to have his name listed on the birth certificate of her son, Odin. It's been a year. He hasn't filled out the paperwork to be listed on his son's birth certificate. That tells me that he's really not interested in being a dad. He just wants to be a play dad. You know, the type that show up once a year with a couple gifts and then say they're doing something. You know the type. When I think about it, I originally started thinking about the Water Boy. Have you ever seen the Water Boy at the very end when his father shows up and it's like, it's me, your father, Roberto. He wants to be one of those. Foamy Elijah says, I predict she'll be single or at least not with Sherlon. I agree with that. Tony Man says, my old landlord had a girlfriend with fake eyelashes. I thought it was a spider late one night. It scared the bejesus out of me as I stomped on it. Oh, it was her eyelash was on the floor. Okay. Other signs that this union is not going to work at all. This right here. Look at all the bags that she has. She has a suitcase here, another one there, and then 2 bags here. He's not carrying a single bag to help her. Just pushing the carriage. He could at least carry, 2 bags and push the carriage, and then she would have 2 bags to carry. Like this is giving he doesn't care. He's not interested in her. Not as a romantic partner, not even as a friend. Even if you weren't romantic with somebody and you were just friends, you would help them out. So there's that. He does say that he's excited to see the baby, and he does appear to be that way. Like when he does, I'm sure I have an image of that. There it is. When he does finally see his baby, he does look somewhat happy to see his baby. But Odin screams bloody murder like someone's killing him by making him be held by Sherlon, but he'll get over it. A lot of babies are like that. My mother told me, interestingly, that with my sister, anybody, that was friendly could hold my sister. But with me, if I didn't know you, I would scream bloody murder if you picked me up. So it's just funny how babies can be so different from each other. I think that's all I had. That's all I had about them. This episode, not a whole lot happened. Fomicky Latte says she should never given her son his last name. Yeah. That's a double-edged sword because I don't know whether that helps or hurts in court. I'm not an expert on that. So on one hand, I'm like, yeah, he's not going to be... It's I don't know. I feel like he's going to be that type of dad that Odin is going to end up going to spend summers with him when he gets around 13, 14 years old. That's probably when he's going to have more of a relationship than when he's a baby. That's my prediction. Now let's talk about Valentine and Carlos. Now, Valentine says that Carlos is a good lover and that it is, quote, thicker than he thought. This is another one. I don't know why Valentine and Danielle, insist on telling us about their lovers' peens. Like, why y'all keep wanting to tell everybody that? Like, I feel like you're inviting me into some information I shouldn't know. What else happened? But I am glad they're having a good time with each other before I move on. I'm glad to see somebody getting along on this show, and they seem to be getting along pretty well. Valentine is a little salty still, just a pinch about Carlos offering him champagne when he knows he doesn't drink. But among the problems that people typically have on this show and on other 90 Day Fiancés, that problem is so minor. I feel like that's something they can work out. I feel like I don't think Carlos meant to be rude when he did it. So I think that's something that they can just discuss and then they'll be able to get over it. I don't think that's something that's going to be huge unless Carlos does it again, which I don't think that he will. He doesn't give me the type of person that that would repeat something when someone tells them that they're upset by it. So I think that's a small thing to deal with. Let me see. Oh, they go out to lunch and the food looks delicious. Although Valentine says he wasn't really feeling it like that. So it's possible that, you can't judge a book by its cover. Sometimes something can look delicious and then you eat it and it's not for you. I'm the type of person I would try just about any food except for maybe two things that you will probably never get me to try. One, the whole live baby octopus thing. Yeah, I can't eat food that's moving. Can't, no. Mm-mm. And that fish that they cook in Japan that if you don't prepare it right, it could kill you. I can't remember the name of it. If somebody knows the name of it, put it in the chat. But there's a fish. It's a very specific fish that they cook in Japan. But they say the chefs usually take them 4 to 5 years to learn how to prepare it. But if you do not prepare it correctly, it is fatal. Like it will kill you. So I will never try that, and I'll never try, like I said, the living baby octopus. Like no. Mm-mm. I'm thinking of that scene in Old Boy when the actor, I think the actor did that for real. Or more recently in The Boys when Homelander made the Deep do the same thing. That's not for me. Can't do it. There is something else I want to discuss. Oh, wait. Before I move on, they do discuss polyamory. I almost forgot that. They did discuss polyamory. And again, Valentine. Oh, Tony Man came up with the name of that Japanese fish. Puffer fish. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not going to put my life in the hands of a chef, because if they mistakenly misprepared a puffer fish, you could die. But Valentine and Carlos discuss polyamory again, and which Valentine tells us that he is capable of loving more than one person at a time. Carlos does not share the same sentiments. He's more of a monogamous person. And so this is going to be something that they will definitely have to, I don't know how he would compromise on that, because they are diametrically opposing viewpoints. I can't speak on it because I don't know enough about polyamory, and I don't know how a person who is polyamorous could maintain a relationship with a person who's not polyamorous, because the monogamous person is going to feel hurt and jealous of the other person that you're in a relationship with, where the way you can love more than one person, they can't love more than one person. So I don't know how that would work out. So I'm just going to know what I say. We don't always have to speak on everything. That's one problem that we do have in this country, is everyone thinks that they are qualified to speak about everything. I'm telling you right now, I'm not qualified to speak on polyamory. So I'm just going to watch and see what happens. I'll be happy to see what happens. I feel like with Carlos and Valentine, they give me, no matter what happens, I think that they're the type of people that could still be friends. Well, at least Valentine. I know Valentine definitely gives me the type of person that could still be friends with their ex. Carlos, I'm not sure, only because he seems to be more sensitive. But I think part of his sensitivity is with age. Because Carlos, I know he's younger, so he is a millennial. Valentine is in his 40s. And as someone else in my 40s, Generation X, we're old and jaded and then less sensitive than we were in our 20s. But some of us still remember what that felt like. I remember how much my heart was on my sleeve in my 20s, how things so deeply affected me. And now in my 40s, they won't affect me in the same way. So I do think that if they broke up, Valentine would probably be more likely to still maintain a friendship, whereas Carlos might still harbor a lot of hurt, and it'd be harder for him to still be friends with them. But I don't see them having a negative blow up. That's just my 2 cents. I don't see it. But we'll see in the season. We'll see what happens. Still waiting for Carlos to show up on here. I've seen him on Twitter, so he might show up one day. That's why I gotta watch what I say. Well, no, not really. I'm still gonna say what I say. That's my problem. I need to watch what I say more. But I say what I say. Speaking of saying what I'm saying, there was some questions last week on Twitter regarding Valentine's hair, and I'm going to get into that right now, and I'm never going to talk about it again because it's a very small thing. But I have a closer picture of the hairline that we were talking about. The problem with the hairline, and mind you, as I'm talking about this, I'm talking about this stylist. I'm not talking so much about Valentine, because so far he's shown himself to be a pretty cool person, and I don't like to be disrespectful to people over their looks. I'd rather be disrespectful to you over your character. If you are a negative person, if you show your true colors and be a bitch ass, yeah, I have no problem being nasty to you back. But so far, he has shown himself to be a very nice person, so I'm not going to talk negatively about him. But I will talk negatively about the hairstylist that did this to him. Number one, the hairline is not balanced to his face. If you look here on the sides, it's coming too far in over his eyebrows, and this is making the face less balanced. If they had reshaped this would have looked a little bit better. Then I think I have a picture from that's more of the side. This is what I was talking about with the lack of fade. The fade in the back, it looks better than on the sides here. It's just like a straight, there's hair and then there isn't. It doesn't fade out, and it doesn't fade out gracefully, if there's a better way of saying this. The other thing that I would advise, and I mean, it's none of my business, and you don't have to listen to me. I'm just putting out here. He has a very solid, nice jawline. And I think him having a beard stop here is dividing his jawline. I think it would be nicer to have just the goatee. I think that would be a nicer look for him. Cut this down and just have the goatee and trim the goatee lower to the face. And that would emphasize the nice jawline, because he has a nice jawline, nice cheekbones. But the way that they've done this hair, it's a disservice. And I have an example of a better look. Let me close this out and share a different screen. Okay, let's share. I'm going to share this without audio because I don't know how the copyright is with this song. I don't know whether it's one of those songs that's like a stock single type song, but this is what the stylist should have done. Maybe I can play a little bit of the music. We'll see what happens. Did I select the music? Hold on. Let me stop the screen and redo it again, because I might not have selected the music. Yeah, I didn't. Let me share audio. Here we go. That's how it's supposed to look. See how happy he is? This is how that is supposed to look. This, when the hairstylist is done. You see how it's nicely faded on the sides, which if you notice from the beginning, he faded the sides before he installed the hairpiece on the top. So, let me blow up this person's Instagram. My natural hair joint. Let's see. Does it have the person? Doesn't have their barber's name. But if you go to their account, I'm sure you can find it. My natural hair joint. But like I said, I am not against men wearing hair pieces, because a lot of people don't realize that men can feel very insecure and have their hair loss affect their self-esteem too. And if you can get something like this and it makes you feel better and it makes you more confident, I have no problem with it. I'm just saying, go to someone like this gentleman on this video that can really do the damn thing. Because look at that. That looks nice. All right, let me stop sharing that. Let's check out some comments. Tonyman says, to be honest, us dudes have that problem with several barbers. That's why if you find one, you keep them. Yeah, that's true. Even when you have hair, a barber can mess you up good and it doesn't feel good. Chris says it's magic. Yes, it's magic. It looks good when it's done well. When it's done right, you would never know. Let me put my cup here. Let's go to the Twitters and see what's popping. I'm going to share my screen and we'll see what's going on Twitter. Oh, my legs. I had to straighten my legs. I was sitting cross legs, and for some reason in my old age, I can't sit that long with my legs crossed or else my hips start to hurt. I'm in bad shape. I need to start doing yoga again. But let's see what's going on Twitters. I started to share some tweets so I can reread them to you. Shanique says, wait, Amber is a waitress? She had binders on binders for Daniel. I thought she was a serious professional. Whole time, Heffa is a waitress. Tommy says, those dudes would be the first to talk about a woman wearing natural hair while wearing a wig. Yeah, they might be. They might be. Oh, I also heard that there's beard wigs now, too. So, yeah, I guess be aware of that. Although there's nothing wrong with not being able to grow a full beard. A lot of men, their hair doesn't grow in on the sides. Some of that is cultural. A lot of Asian men and Native American men, their hair doesn't grow on the cheeks. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think everybody needs the big old beard. It's not, I mean, some people, they can rock it. Some people, yeah, you don't need it. All right, where was I? Stephanie Bradley. She says the comment on Amber made that Daniel doesn't have an opinion. That's right. The comment made that Daniel doesn't have an opinion until he gets a job is bullshit. Stop manipulating and controlling these foreigners when they literally gave up their entire lives to be with you. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. She said that because when was it Ashton is her friend's name? I want to say it was Ashton. Yeah. When Ashton was like, well, you didn't tell him that I'm moving in yet, and that's a problem. You really need to tell him. Her first response was that because Daniel doesn't pay any bills, he shouldn't have any say-so. But that's still, reverse the sexes. If a dude was paying for things and and he said about his girlfriend or his wife, because I believe they're married, if he said about his wife, well, she doesn't have any say-so because she doesn't pay anything, you would look at that guy like he's an asshole. I think we should look when the reverse is true. The same as last season when, what was that girl's name? Or lady, really. I can't remember the lady's name that went over to, it wasn't Nigeria, because Soldier Boy wasn't in Nigeria. I think he was in, was it Zimbabwe or Kenya? I forgot which country he was filming his music videos, but the way she kept pressuring him for sex, it was like if it was Big Ed doing it, everyone would have her head on a platter saying how abusive and manipulative and usury she is. But because she's a woman doing this to Soldier Boy, people just kind of made jokes about it, but it's still equally creepy. Chris said if he did that, it would be called financial abuse. That is absolutely correct. Yes. So what she's doing to him, what Amber, I always get those names confused. What Amber's doing to Daniel is financial abuse. Rock says, Amber, this is Amber speaking. I'm an adult. I bought a house I can't afford and have to get a bunch of roommates, but can't tell my husband that I bought from another country and can't work, but I'm still angry at him. Grow up. And that's the other thing. How did she get approved to buy a house and she's a server is what she said her job title is? That seems, I don't know, like it would be harder because you don't have an income that is steady, because servers' incomes fluctuate. So I'm wondering how she was able to get approved for a house loan. Rose, aka Sip Watch Tweet, says Valentine doesn't drink at all, but he does. They're both tops. Valentine is polyamorous and he's not. How is this going to work? Yeah, a lot of things they are not. Valentine and Carlos are opposite on, or they're just different. Like Rose said, Valentine doesn't drink, Carlos does drink. They both would be tops in the sexual relationship. And we talked earlier about the polyamory versus monogamy. Yeah, it's like people say opposites attract, but I don't know whether they can last, because it can be very taxing after a while to try to make something work like that. Tony says, Mom and Dad probably hooked her up. Oh, that's right. You can get a co-signer. Yeah, you're absolutely right. She probably has a co-signer. Stephanie Bradley says, wait a minute. Was Amber's sister in the bathroom while Daniel was showering? Yes, she was. Like I said, inappropriate. Blanco Basura says, bruh, Carlos, your family knows you're gay. You may be in the closet, but the door is glass. Well, they'll definitely know after the show airs. They'll know. I mean, it's, well, wait. This is on Discovery Plus. It's not on regular Discovery Channel yet. So unless you have Discovery Plus or you happen to upon a YouTuber like me making a video, they might not know. All the Cake says every American on this show with their new partner. Quote, I think this is a really fun American activity and they'll get a kick out of it. Their partners. Wow, this is boring. That reminds me of when Emily took Kobe to the, what was it called? Rock City? But there was no city there. It's just rocks. Shanique says, none of the American women are in reality. Ari is still trying to make a weekend fling into a family. Daniel is 40 with a grown son trying to get pregnant by the water sports man. Amber wants money from a person who literally is unable to work. Yeah, that's about it. 90 Day Meme says how and puts a picture of Amber and her age, 31 years, and then puts Valentine for here. That's the thing. Valentine's not 50. I want to say that the thing said that he was 46, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see, because I wrote it in my first notes. Yeah, I'll tell you. Love in Paradise. I don't think Valentine is 50. Yes, Valentine is 46 years old. But still, the point still stands. Like, how is this 31 and that's 46? Like, and someone else, Boogie? Yeah, I'm going to say L Boogie. Says, I know V better request a refund stat. And they're talking about, this is the base, I guess, price for the full lace. Says, human hair toupee, Brazilian Remy. Why is it always Brazilian? Shouldn't, if you're getting this type of hair, why is it not African? Why is it not like 100% human Nigerian or 100% human Cameroonian or Gambian or like it should, that I'm just wondering why. You know what? African nations, if this thing picks up, this could be an industry for you. Because you can sell your hair now, just like how in India, a lot of people sell their hair. Yeah, this could be a cottage market for us. Love to Hate Zillas says, throw Benny and Sherlon in there too. And this is Trojan Ultra Thin for the ultimate protection against. Tony says, I'll find Carlos' Twitter and at his family. They'll know then. I'm kidding. I'm not that much of an asshole. Oh, okay, I'm glad. Brazilian probably sounds exotic to most people. I agree. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds exotic, but literally that was like African. I don't want to say African texture hair because it's a misnomer because there's so many different types of people in Africa. So there's many different textures of hair. But I'll say like type 4 texture hair. I would want it to come from the people who are most known in the world to have that type of hair. That's all I'm saying. Not to say that there aren't a hell of a lot of Brazilians that have it, because Brazil had the largest transatlantic slave colony outside the United States. So just because something is Brazilian does not make it not black. It's still very much black. Oh, yeah, I was saying this. Look at the faces of these ladies. This is the one night stand crew. Like, wow. Although these aren't the best pictures of them, still, you know what I get. You know what I mean. Let's go to most recent for a couple minutes and then I'll get out of here. No, not Love Island. I do not watch Love Island. Love in Paradise. I tried to watch Love Island. I just couldn't get into it. Fominky Latte says, I didn't know. Wait, why is the thing not showing? There it goes. I didn't know the units were that expensive. Yeah. Well, if it's human hair, If it's really truly human hair, it's going to be more expensive than if it's synthetic hair. But just let's give it like another year or two, and China will find a way of making synthetic units. Okay, latest. Says no girl, Ari and Emily are two stupid, delusional, entitled sides of the same cow coin. Oh, that's cold. Who are they responding to? Let me click on this because I think this is a response. Okay, Sunday shout out starts on and says, am I the only one that watches Love in Paradise and 90 Day Fiance and get confused with Ari and Emily? And that's why they're responding saying, no girl, Ari and Emily are two. Yeah. And we have two Aris because she's Ari, and then also Homegirl is with Benny is also Ari. Aryanna really thinks she's in a whole relationship with Sherlon. That's me. Ariana's eyelashes are giving spider. See, I can't play the audio because TLC will ding me for copyright, but maybe I can play a little bit of the video of when they were in the country bar. Because he's just standing there by himself. Like, that looks so sad. Like, oh, you're over here drinking with your friend, and your husband is just like standing there by himself, looking like a fish out of water. Yeah, that's just rude to me. Yeah, I don't like that. Here's the thing with this here. They're both tops and not willing to compromise. It's a big compromise to if you're not already wired a certain way to take things into your anal cavity. Like that's a very specific thing. Very specific thing. Even for women. Like there are dudes that want to have, anal with women, and there's women that enjoy that and there's women that don't enjoy that. So that's just a thing that you can't, we're all wired the way we're wired. We can't make ourselves be turned on by things that we're not turned on by. It's just a thing. Amber, you better talk to Daniel about this. Even though he can't pay his share of the bills, he still has a say. He's your husband. Stop telling him he doesn't have a say. I agree with that. That's what I said. Cheryl says, I'm curious how Amber was able to buy a house working as a server. No offense, unless you work an upscale restaurant and work double shifts every day and make over $1,000 a week daily, maybe you could afford a house. Yeah, and that's what Tony Man said, that it was probably her parents that co-signed. See, I didn't think about that. Frankie and Abby are a-holes. Who's Frankie? Oh, why did I forget about Frankie? Frankie is the old dude that's dating Abby and Gabby. I don't know why. They were off this episode for 1 week and I completely forgot who they were. Isn't that a shame? Kobe is hot. Guillermo is cute. Daniel from Love in Paradise is cute as AF. And Carlos is hot, and none of them should be with their partners. Oh, I hear thunder. I better get out of here. Let me get off of here. You can see I posted a lot. But let me close this show out. Did you guys have fun today? Hopefully I got you through your last hour of work, which is my goal. I want to make the last hour go faster. I need to find probably a third show to review, but I'm not 100% sure. I want to do, are you guys interested in 90 Day Fiance UK? Tony says, great, I got to haul ass. Oh, Chris says, I still have 2 more to go. You have 2 more hours of work to go? You get out late? Oh, wait, that's right. You're in the Midwest. It's you're an hour behind me. That's right. Well, hopefully it goes by quickly. Let me wrap it up. Tony Man says, sure, I'd love to hear about the Brits. Cool. I think that show's going to be interesting. and to see where people are immigrating from and to, because it's in Europe. There may be people immigrating from other parts of Europe, from Asia, from Africa, be more or a different pairing. All right, so I'm going to put up my outro and get out of here. I will talk to you all later. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. I had fun talking to you. Bye.